Hey guys, it's Eric and Micah and Phoebe's here too, and we're going to talk about evil. So happy Theology Thursday. This is a little piece I want to be doing on the channel. Sorry, I want to get rid of that. Got Facebook bubbles all over the place. You guys know how it is. So we're going to be talking about crisis. We're going to be talking about faith in crisis. We're going to be asking the question, like, where's God when I'm suffering? And so for that, I thought, hey, maybe we should talk about evil first. Maybe we should talk about suffering before we get into that. And so I just wanted to come at you and talk to you a little bit about evil, some foundational stuff. I am sorry if this video is shaky. If you know me, you know that my hands are always shaky. Sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it's my neck, I don't know. So I've got issues, but that's okay. We all have issues. And so actually that's a good segue. So why do we have these issues? Why is evil a thing? And I'm going to talk to you about a theological and philosophical idea, and that is the problem of evil. So the problem of evil is this: if God is all good and he's all powerful, how can evil exist, right? So a lot of people try to solve that question by saying, well, then either God's not all good and he is all powerful and therefore evil can exist, or we say, well, God is all good but he's not all powerful and therefore evil exists. So none of those answers are congruent or go along with a Christian idea of God. The Christian idea of God is this: that he is all powerful and he is all good, and evil exists now, but it won't exist forever. So we have to talk about where it came from first. So a lot of people will say, well, God's the creator of all things and therefore he's the creator of evil. I totally get that mindset. I totally get the thought behind it. But we have to kind of think differently. So evil is not a substance. God created all substances, right? Evil's not a substance. Instead, we have to see evil for what it is. It's a degradation of a substance. So God is no more responsible for the creation of evil than the person who plants a tree is responsible for rot in that tree. Or a person who puts up an iron fence is responsible for the rust on that fence, right? Those are degradations of the substance. So God created everything to include all things good, right? And in his creation, he included something that opened the door for that degradation of good, and that thing is free will. And it's funny because the people who are most upset about evil, and we all should be upset about evil, are the people who most enjoy their free will, and we all should enjoy our free will. That's how God designed us. That's how God created us. But when he said, hey, humans, you're going to have free will, he opened the door for us to do the wrong thing. It didn't take very long. Adam ate from the tree, and when that happened, Paul says in Romans 1, everything changed. So a lot of times people are like, well, if the eating of the apple is what changed things, then that would only really account for, Micah's saying, Phoebe, good boy. You're all done with your snack? You can put it down, dude. Drink some water. Yeah, awesome. So by opening the door for evil, God's not responsible for it. And then, so what I was saying is that, we have this idea then that, like, okay, well, that explains why evil things happen when people do them. But what about things like cancer? What about things like hurricanes? What about things like natural disasters of any kind, earthquakes, you name it. And people are quick to assign blame to God on those things. And some misguided Christians are quick to claim God's judgment in those things. And let me tell you, friends, that is not God's judgment. That's not how it is. Go back to what Paul said. He said when evil entered, everything was broken. So the moment that the bite was taken from that apple, the moment that Adam and Eve decided to go against what God had said, everything changed. The entire universe was broken. And so in that moment, we see the source of man-made evil, and we also see the source of natural evil or suffering. So interchange suffering and evil here. But what do we do with that? What do we do with that? It's not enough to just say, okay, well, this is why it exists. Where's God when we're hurting? And we're going to talk a lot about that. Look, I'm excited for this series because I need it desperately. I am a person who's very broken. I'm a person who is riddled with anxiety. I'm a person who is emotionally a mess 90% of the time. I struggle with depression. I have struggles with trauma and PTSD, and we have to figure out what our faith is like in those moments, and it's not easy, and it's going to be a tough journey ahead. and it's going to be a tough journey ahead for me because I'm going to try to navigate this thing with you. But I guess the best part of all of this is that at the end of the day, I know what I'm saying is true. And I know it's true because God said it's true. This is the bottom line. Yeah, there's suffering right now, but someday there won't be. And God has already won. And we have the opportunity to be on his side at the end of this thing. So I encourage all of you, if you don't have one yet, get a relationship with God. It's possible through Jesus Christ. And learn from him and see where he is in your suffering. And we're going to talk about it. I love you guys. I'm really grateful for all of you. I hope that you're ready for a lot of transparency, a lot of just vulnerability in this series. It's going to be heavy. You're going to hear a lot about me. I'm not being self-centered. Okay, I'm trying to share, and I know that there's other people out there that have gone through much worse than I've gone through, but that's not how suffering works, right? We all suffer in our own way and to our own degree, right? So I love you guys. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to chatting with you guys on Sunday a little bit about crisis and where God is when we're suffering. So take care. Have a good day on Sunday. You'll get a little promo video tomorrow too. And thanks for listening, and I'm gonna go deal with this baby. She lasted just long enough for the video. All right, guys, take care.